Welcome to the segment of Pittsburgh Business Virgin, Season 2 of our wonderful little show here. And really happy to have my co-host, Jimmy Wells, just back from Barcelona on his honeymoon. Another one bites the dust.
Thanks, Brad. Appreciate it.
And we're here, and we're really pleased to have Ted Ford, CEO of Knepper Press, as our lead off to Season 2. So thank you for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Jimmy's got the questions. What do we got for Mr. Ford today?
All right. So we were talking a little bit beforehand and getting some information just on how you got started and your general transition into this business. Now, 20 years ago, you bought into Knepper Press as a 25 employees, generally moving away from, newspaper print and trying to expand the business. 20 years later, what were some of the roadblocks you faced, surprises you faced over these last 20 years in building Knepper up to what it is today?
The first major hurdle probably when we got there was one customer at that time was half our business. And my partner and I knew we needed to diversify. Happy to have the revenue and happy to have a good-sized customer, but very dangerous also. So we worked very hard and very diligently to diversify that.
We love you, but we're going to date other people very quickly. Yeah.
Now, are they still a client of yours?
They are, but a very small client, and nowhere near the size and scope they were back then. So instead of having no customer now accounts for more than 5, 6, 7% of our business.
Wonderful.
That was
so probably one of the first learnings that you implemented or figured out and then acknowledged and implemented was diversifying your revenue streams pretty quickly.
Exactly.
Don't fall in love too much with that one big client.
Like in any investment, advice like you guys, you want to diversify. You want to diversify.
Are you kidding me? All your money should be in gold. Right?
There you go. So you want diversity of clients in terms of numbers of clients, no concentration, industry, maybe even regional, not all in one salesman's basket that could leave your company. So there's lots of different ways you want to diversify as a company.
Let's not walk past the fact that since you've been there and been working with Bill Knepper, we should probably mention Bill. You're the CEO. Bill's the chairman. You guys basically own the company together. What's been interesting, 5 generations, I guess you guys, your families go way back, made it work, and it sounds like it's working really well. But today, you started out at 25 employees 20 years ago when you joined the firm, and today you're over 200, right?
That's
right around that.
Just around that number.
Yeah, 200 people that work there. It's a 24/7 operation. How were you able to do that? Because there's people watching this right now. I'm listening to you because I run a 5-person firm. I'd love to be sitting here with even 25 people in a few years. So talk more about that.
It's one step at a time. You get a new client, you satisfy their needs. You want to get into a second shift because we have a very capital-intensive business. So when you buy millions of dollars of machinery, you don't want to operate it 8 hours a day. You want to operate it,
Yeah, you were saying 3.5 years ago, you guys spent a ton of money and basically rebuilt a new facility, very modern.
Yeah. Yes, and so you want to get more people, to have more clients, and to operate that around the clock. You went from 1 shift to 2 shifts. Well, then if you have a second shift, you have to have enough sales to justify having them. You don't want to go back because that allows you to spread your fixed costs better. All your daytime employees that are in accounting and the building and the lights, all those can be spread around if you can operate a good second shift or a good third shift. So there's a lot of motivation on us as an employee and a company to fill those shifts up as best we can. And so that we started off getting a second shift, never wanted to give it up. Yeah. So you just keep on.
Plus, you hired those people.
That's right.
I mean, you don't want to have to lay those people off.
So yeah, a lot of reasons that diversity of customers, filling up the shop to spread your risks in terms of spread your fixed costs.
What do you think were some of the other things, initially, if you go back 20 years, I know sometimes it's tough to think back that far and what some of the nuances were, but what are some of the other things that were of challenge at that point?
That is probably from my standpoint. I'd come from a large corporate world, and now I was going into a very small organization. So that transition, I think, for a lot of people is something they can't adjust to. Where's all my support staff? Where's the legal?
Yeah, everything's done for you. You just
accounting?
have to show up.
Yeah. So now it's like, oh, that's all on us. Mm-hmm. That really wasn't a problem for Bill and myself. We'd run landscaping businesses and painting businesses in high school and college together. I sort of always liked the small business aspect of it. So that and wearing many hats wasn't a problem. I sort of enjoy the many aspects of business. So that wasn't a problem so much. Like you say, you go back 20 years trying to remember what the different issues were. We do have, I'd say the biggest problem, or probably the biggest concern in printing for me was every few years you'd fill up the plant. In terms of you'd be up at capacity, but then it's a multi-million-dollar investment decision. And when you're a small company, it's
you expand. Well, you blow out the wall, so to say, and expand, or
buy a new.
Or are you happy and stay with what you got?
Right, and it's hard. We've sort of felt like you either grow or die. It's hard to keep the employees happy without growth.
You said that earlier. I think that's something that people say almost in passing, but it's true. You're either growing or dying. There's
almost no middle ground. It's hard to keep a staff of people, happy and motivated year after year after year. If
doing
you're
the same stuff.
If you're flatlining and not giving them more excitement, more challenges, and your margins aren't increasing, so you've got to find a way to do things more productively so you can have pay raises and better benefits over time. So there's just so many motivations of why you've got to grow.
As we close out this segment, in literally 30 seconds, you've got a staff of 20 salespeople. Mm-hmm. That's a lot of salespeople. I mean, I when I was at Ameriprise, I had 46 at one time. Mm-hmm. It's daunting to keep track of everybody and what they're up to and everything else. In 30 seconds, someone out there who has a sales staff, how do you keep on top of that? How do you make sure you're getting the results you're quote unquote paying for?
It depends on if you're paying salary versus commission. Mm-hmm. So if you have a fairly heavily commissioned operation,
so the behaviors somewhat take care of themselves. Right?
They're growing or dying.
Yeah, they're sort of growing or dying, and the onus is on them. You may give them a period of time where you put them on salary to give them a chance to have a year or two to get to that point where they need to be, but you do put more of the onus on the individual. You don't babysit them. You give them expectations. You support the heck out of them in terms of trying to make them successful, and they know you're on the same team as them, trying to help build their sales. But it really does come down to each individual has to step up every day and do their job.
How do you create that accountability?
Well, I think a lot of the accountability is just in the way the pay structure is structured, so they know, boy, if I'm on a salary now, it's going to go off to commission at some point in time, and so I've got to be able to produce the results. And then I think you really just create an environment where everybody's striving to satisfy customers, to land new customers. And so they want to be successful. I think most people want to be successful. They don't want to get up and be lazy. So they're looking for those opportunities, and you're just trying to support them and find out of your people every day who has the best opportunities. Where do you best spend your time to help the company make the biggest? Yeah, and so it's different people, different days. I'm winding up, spending more of my time with based on the opportunities that exist.
Awesome stuff. We're here with Ted Ford, CEO of Knepper Press. Come on back for our next episode. We're going to sort of dive into some of the different things you did to grow the company and what have you. And check out Knepper Press, all their contact information on your screen. Be right back.